This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today I am going to encourage you to don't believe everything that you think. Yes, it sounds odd. Now, if you haven't already, I really encourage you to go back to my musings episode with Jay Headley yesterday, or today, or whenever you sort of hear this anyway. But he's actually my coach, and so he's one of the co-founders and co-owners of the coaching room up in Sydney and Melbourne. But either way, we talk about performance mindset and effectively reframing anxiety, among many other things. And I think it's definitely a podcast that I'll go back through and listen to again. That's for damn sure. But today, what do I mean when I say, like, don't believe everything you think? It's often that people will, in my experience, people will come up and they're like, oh, I think this, or, you know, I don't think I can, or whatever it may be. But it's what the premise is to this whole understanding is being able to step back and observe what your thoughts are rather than becoming your thoughts, right? And if you've listened to my podcast, you've definitely heard me talk about this before, but it's more so we are so quick to doubt our ability, yet we're so quick to give ourselves conviction to our, negative thought patterns about ourselves, right? It's like if you're negative about the positive and you're positive about the negative, it's like there's a disconnection here. And it's just understanding that thoughts are just thoughts. And in fact, most of the thoughts that we claim to be ours aren't even ours. They're thoughts from a very long time ago that now just sound like ours because we run it through our head every time we disappoint or anything along those lines, whether it's disappointing someone else or disappointing ourselves. And so first it's understanding that thoughts are just thoughts of reality. Thoughts are not reality. Now, one of the most difficult things, especially about building thoughts around the future, is that if you're not consciously telling yourself and understanding and knowing that, hang on a sec, these thoughts are about the future and I'm conscious of that. Otherwise, what is going to happen 9 times out of 10 is you're building these thoughts and it's just running. You're just thinking about the future. And you are literally changing your state and your physiology on some degree about things in the future that may never happen, right? This is the idea of don't believe everything that you think, because you aren't amazing enough to predict the future. So be careful letting this prediction of the future that is just running as a pattern that you're not even conscious of affect your state and physiology, because your state and physiology is in the present and it's affecting your present about a possible future, especially as Jay put it in my podcast with him, is that if you're thinking about the future as a possibility but making it a probability, and if that happens, what we end up doing is really embodying what's going on, not embodying what's going on, it's embodying what you are predicting. And here's the thing, it's like whatever you pay attention to, like it's going to somewhat manifest on some degree. Like you'll look for it. This is the whole idea. It's like whether you think you can or you cannot, right? It's the whole podcast yesterday. It's so interlocked into the same thing. It's just understanding that your thoughts are not reality, right? And you're not even your thoughts. You are the thing that observes your thoughts. I had a seminar on the weekend. I asked the guys, I'm like, do you guys think in pictures or do you guys think in words? Right? And you see people start to rattle around and sort of, I'm like, oh, do you do both? Right? And not just that, I go, whereabouts in your head do you think? Do you think in the front? Is it right? Is it left? Is it back? Is it deep? Is it really shallow? Whereabouts in your head do you think? Right? Now, not just that, you understand that there's 2 things going on in your head, and probably more, but there's the thoughts, and so you hear those words, but then there's the thing that hears the words, right? When you become the observer of reality, you trust yourself to deal with it as best you can as you go through. And this is a big thing, because awareness precedes all development, right? Rather than not trusting yourself and having to have some sort of plan about the future. And it's not like you should just, kick all plans to the side. That's not what it's about. It's thinking macro and acting micro, right? But like it's your ability to trust yourself to deal with reality as it arises and as it unfolds. And in order to do that, we need to be able to build awareness and become curious about all the thoughts that we have and question them, not from this place of judgment or doubt, but be like, that's really interesting. Where does that thought come from? Is that thought, universally true for me? If there's a thought there that's not resourceful, what's the positive intention behind that? Where in my life may have that actually served me to keep me safe or protecting me? Something along those lines. And it's just when you are able to move into this third person position and observe your thoughts as your thoughts, not be in first person and observe your thoughts as you start to shift the way you see reality and the way that you're able to frame reality for you. Because here's the thing, we're going to frame reality no matter what. And if you aren't aware, if you're not choosing to bring this into your awareness, and this is a constant unraveling, like I keep fucking saying, I know, but it just is like you don't have personal development time. It's all integrated. Every fucking moment that you have, if you're driving your car right now, walking to the gym, cooking breakfast, every single moment that you fucking breathe is this opportunity to unravel your development. But you have to bring into awareness what your thoughts are saying, and you have to bring in awareness what patterns you are running. You have to bring in awareness what emotions are arising. And as Jay said it, you think of the word emotion as energy motion, right? That's all it is. It doesn't mean it's a reality. It's subjective, and you're in charge of that. You are. It just takes a fucking long-ass time to undo believing your thoughts and every fucking thought you ever had. 30, 40 years, it takes a long ass time to give yourself the innate, the permission to believe the innate intelligence that's deeper, that is saying that you are good enough and that you are able to, you're resourceful enough, you do know the answers. It just takes time to go down that way. You're always going to come up against shit that, is trying to tell you otherwise if you're looking for it. And so it's your ability to know that if you have been wrong in the past, then just maybe that negative bullshit you tell yourself is also wrong, because otherwise it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you got to make a decision. You're in charge. You are literally in charge of what you deem to be true. And knowing that it's not even true, it's not reality, it's thoughts on reality, just changes the whole game. Team, I'm out. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast today. If you found this podcast very beneficial or useful or interesting, I would love it if you would share it with somebody else who you think would find it beneficial, interesting, or useful, or any of the sorts. I really recommend you jump on and listen to my podcast with Jay. I really enjoyed that podcast. I basically, you're surprised, but I shut up for like almost an hour. Almost. Now, I would also recommend that you jump on Mood Prep Online, the Facebook group. As of the 1st of July, things are changing with that, so best to get in now. I highly recommend it. That way, you get to, as you would have seen in the podcast, you get to ask questions to my guests. You get to interact with the types of content that I'm producing here. You get to ask questions and all of the fun stuff. I put all my resources there, and some more stuff's happening after the 1st of July. So, Mood Prep Online, jump on Facebook. Team, I'm out. As always, peace and pizza, kick today in the dick, slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.